It's like mind-blowing to see like North Star turning 20 from that little school in the old Bait to now multiple schools and like multiple children. That's like, whoa, that's big. That's like a lot of lives being impacted. And I know that that is what was meant from day one, to send waves through Newark for education. And that's what like North Star is doing.
We wanted to build an excellent school here in the city of Newark, so we had this vision that it would be a school that would get kids to and through college, that we would have two pillars that really upheld what the school was all about. One would be rigorous academics, and we would build a sense of community where we were all a part of something larger than ourselves, and we were all working together, supporting each other, caring for each other.
I was taking sort of a leap because there was no history of charter schools existing. Jamie and Norman were just like, I think we can do this. Both of them together saying, we have this vision, we have this mission. Parents have been talking to us about what they want and need. Let's do it.
And we got the certificate of occupancy about 18 hours before the first kids came to school, the day after Labor Day, 20 years ago in 1997.
We began with the community circle. It was the first thing we did, so we played the drums for them and they gathered in a big circle, and we said, you know, welcome to a whole new ball game, a whole new kind of school.
And as a kid, I was like crying my first day. And then I met Mr. V, and I remember the first thing I saw was community circle, and I was just like, whoa, this is intense. Like, this is very different from my other school, but this is the first time that I actually got to see school as being a community and like a network of people that stuck with me like forever.
And my biggest fear early on was that we weren't going to do right by the students who were right in front of us, and that we were going to commit some sort of drive-by do-goodism as opposed to creating something deep and meaningful within the community. And so one of the reasons why it was so important to partner with people like Jamie Verrilli and Shauna Pyatt and Julie Jackson and Mike Mann is because here were individuals who were going to see this through all the way to the end.
We didn't have systems of data in those days to see how our kids were progressing, so it was kind of like, how are they going to do? We got the first round of test data back, and it was good. It wasn't as great as North Star is now, but it was good, and it made us say, okay, here's an indicator that our kids are closing the achievement gap, and it let us be motivated to go further. Let's find out even better how to do this.
I know I was like a hard scholar. I put them through a lot of struggle, but they stuck with me. Kept trying to push them away, and they kept dragging me back, and I'm like, why won't these people just let me do what I want to do? And they had like a vision for me. So in some way that I didn't understand like when I was a student, but now I can.
You know, we started with the middle school. We hadn't even thought of a high school until parents were like, what? What are you gonna do? Like, they were 7th graders, and they were like, you are not about to not just send our kids back out there now, are you? And so that's kind of how we continued to grow.
First we started a second middle school, and then we started an elementary school. As we got bigger, we got better. It's amazing that that was 20 years ago, and that now North Star is 5,000 students and that 13 schools, and about 10% of the kids in Newark are going to North Star, and that Uncommon Schools is now 18,000 students, 50 plus schools around the Northeast.
Now just like seeing the access that like children have in Newark to like a better education, because we have so many more teachers, we have so many more locations. It's like, whoa, this is huge.
The reality is we are opening opportunities and giving students access to things that they may not have.
I remember it was December 11th, 2009, 3 p.m. I applied to Penn, and I just remember 3 p.m. I logged on, and it just said congratulations. I didn't read anything else. And I just remember receiving phone calls and emails from everybody, people that I didn't even know that worked at North Star, and it allowed me to see that there's like this whole village that like is there to support you, and even if you feel as if like you aren't capable, you are capable, and there's like a whole bunch of people that like know that you're capable of it.
We had a student, a special needs student. Remember, he came back to North Star to visit us. I remember saying, you know, tell me what you're doing now. And he's like, well, I have a son and he goes to North Star now. And I just graduated from college. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And what do you plan on doing? Like, what are you doing now? And he's like, no, I just graduated. So he had graduated that day, only a few hours, and the first thing he thought to do was to come back to see us and to let us know that he succeeded and that he had done it. It just was such a testament to the relationship and relationships that we have been able to establish with our students and our families, that they thought we were good enough and that we had lived up to a promise that we had made to his parents, his family, and he wanted that for his own kid. And that he came back to see us on the day he graduated. I will never forget that.
I graduated college, so I can remember that moment. It's one moment that I would like never forget. Everyone's always like, well, you were a rebel. You didn't like North Star when you came to North Star. Like, why would you go back and be a teacher? And I always say, like, one thing that I can't argue with is that North Star provides a sound education for our children. And I had like this wonderful school that gave me like the education that I deserved. It has set a fire in me to be able to do all that I can for our children, even if it's like curriculum development or if it's just like PD, something, so that like it can be able to impact all of our children. Everything that we said, like that first day in our middle school chant, who are you? Like, you're a star. What are you gonna be? The master of your own destiny. All of those things are something that I live by. But now I can speak that message to like my children and my classroom in our school at Liberty.
This emotion is just so much pride. No one can do any of this work alone. No one can. It's just we need to have all of the voices, all of our stakeholders just working together with that same mission in mind.
I think the North Star that has always guided me is a vision of hope for justice and for love. And I think that we can keep working and keep doing this together if we hold on to that vision of the North Star. If we don't lose sight of it, this idea of liberation, this idea of hope, this idea of goodness that we're fighting for our kids.
Changing history.